Today, how to take your life back one gritty practice at a time. Welcome to Sacred Grit, a podcast equipping men to conquer addiction and overcome inner struggles through physical, mental, and spiritual disciplines so you can become a man of honor and integrity. I'm Jason.Lyle. Now let's get to work. Today you'll learn mindful practices allow you to pause and reflect. Daily repetition is the key, and discipline over motivation is the key to recovery. This episode is brought to you by MMB Dentistry. What's up, my dude? Welcome back to the Sacred Grit Podcast and Gritty Wednesday. Let's get down to work. Mindful practices allow you to pause and reflect. Here's the thing, and ad nauseum here, man. I know you hear this all the time, but it bears reminding that when we take the time to feel our body, to observe our thoughts, to observe our breath, to set off our impulses, we are creating the capacity to pause and reflect. I want you to think of it like this. In your life, you've been taught many things through rote memory: how to tie your shoes, your multiplication tables, maybe, your ABCs, if you really want to get down there to the very beginning, sight words, all these different things. They were handed over to you, and they continue to be a part of your life today. When you look down at a piece of paper and you see the word "and," you don't have to go "and." You don't have to sit there and sound it out. You've looked at it enough. You could go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, your numbers, right? All these things. Rote memory, these were given to you, and the way that you learned them were through repetition and practice, right? You don't have to pause, you don't have to reflect, you don't have to do anything, you just do the action. But these actions were given to you through pausing, reflecting, thinking. Left lace goes over the right, the rabbit runs under the log, pull it tight, right? All these different things that you did. You had to pause and think about it. That's what mindfulness does for your life. Instead of being drugged through life in a mindless manner, you're learning how to tie your shoes again, metaphorically. All these things you wired into your brain, the habits, all these things that you've learned, you're trying to unlearn them. And the key to doing that is daily repetition, right? Is to do the thing over and over and over. And some folks might say to me, well, I tried it. I gave it, you told me to do it, and I did it. I did it for 6 weeks. I did it for 6 months. And I might have saw a little bit, but I didn't see a lot. Here's the thing, man. We're not talking about something that you're going to do for 6 weeks or 6 months, my friend. This is what I'm trying to, it's like saying, well, I did a workout for 6 months, and, I gained a little muscle and gained a little bit of more VO2 max, but I really didn't see any change. Well, you didn't see any change because you didn't stick with it. Anything that is worth doing is something that is long-term, and it's worth sticking to. So it's something that we do over and over and over for years to come in our lives. So the daily repetition, and not doing this as a means to an end. Well, I'm going to do this for, so that one day I will be. This is something that you'll do the rest of your life, because just as quick as you're unwinding old habits, if you're not careful, you're building new habits. And that means to me that discipline over motivation is the key to recovery. Most people go, I just don't feel like it. And so we mistake motivation for discipline. But motivation and discipline are not the same thing. Discipline is doing something even when I don't feel like it. Motivation is expecting somebody to make me feel like doing the thing that I need to do. Okay. So here's what I want to challenge you with. You can pick it. I use yoga, breath work, meditation, cold water immersion as my tools. And they have worked for me. They have worked for many, many other men to do these same things. But why don't you pick it? And here's what I would have you pick. This is your Gritty Wednesday tip of the day. Pick one thing that makes you feel like you get control over your life. That might be reading your Bible. It might be praying. It might be going to church well, I don't think you'd want to do that every day, but it might be, I don't know what it is, but pick this one thing that makes you feel like you have gained control over your life and do that one thing every single day. Maybe it's go to the gym. Maybe it's eat a more healthy breakfast. Maybe it's skip a meal a day. Maybe, I do not know, my friend, but here's what I do know. If you repeatedly do this thing over and over and over, that brings you joy, peace, patience, kindness, happiness, all these things that you're looking for in your life, not because you're motivated to do them, but because you're being disciplined in the doing of them, you will see change in your life. There's no way around it. You will see change in your life because you're moving yourself in a positive direction. Now, once you start to see that change, I would argue that you start putting things in your life that give you the capacity, the tools that give you the capacity to be able to breathe, pause, choose, live. And that is yoga, meditation, breath work, cold water immersion. But if those things seem like a big monster standing outside your door, start with something simple, man. And maybe even if you try yoga, meditation, whatever, maybe you just go, I'm going to do 5 minutes of meditation in the morning, or I'm going to do 5 sun salutations in the morning, or I'm going to do 15 seconds of cold water at the end of my shower. I don't know. Maybe that's where you want to jump in. But what I'm encouraging you to do is to start somewhere with a mindful practice. And that doesn't mean it has to be woo-woo. That could be a walk. That could be, I'm just encouraging you to do something and to be repetitive about it through discipline, okay? Because this is where change happens. You are not going to think your way out. You are just not going to do it. You're going to have to behave your way out, which is going to change your thinking. You got to turn that paradigm around. I'm not going to make enough rational sense out of this. I have to do the thing and be the person that I want to be, and that starts to rewire my brain. And then I can get down in there and start making true change when I get into my body. This is what I do, my man. This is what I do is I help folks get down into their nervous system to where they can create real change that uploads back into the brain. All right. Today you learned that mindful practices allow you to pause and reflect, that daily repetition is the key, and that discipline over motivation is the key to recovery. My dude, thank you for listening. I hope that this is helpful for you. You could drop down into the show notes. You can book a consultation call. As I said, this is what I do. I help men get into their bodies, get them regulated to where those signals go back up into the brain. I appreciate you listening. If there's anything I can do to help you, you can use that link to book a consultation call with me. All right, my dude. This episode is brought to you by David Dodd and Edward Jones McDonough, one of the finest men you would ever want to meet. David is a financial advisor, but also a good friend and a supporter of the Sacred Grit podcast. You can find him by Googling David Dodd, Edward Jones McDonough. My dude, thank you for listening. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you on Sacred Sunday.